to have the bollocks.
Do you really want to go toe-to-toe with me on that?
You've completely, like, what are we doing here? Levy isn't going anywhere.
It's all down to timing, isn't it?
Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Welcome to the Spurs 2. Everyone else has retired and left the channel. It's just myself and Lubo now. We're down to 2, and then we're going to shut it down once. No, I'm only joking. Unfortunately, Johnny's on his constant sabbatical. Sean is jealous of Johnny, so he's taking a sabbatical as well. And yeah, look, these things happen. It's just the two of us, but we do have 2 guests coming on today. At some point, we will have the second guest, but the first one we're going to bring in just a minute. But until then, smash a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we do have to mention our sponsor down there. If you do want any replica merch, go to the link, put in the code Sean, and you'll get 8% off at the checkout. Lubo, how are you?
All right, you. I must say, this is. Look how life has moved on. Last time I was sitting here and you were hosting was on Tottenham away and Levy was around. And look how things have changed since then. What a complete change round. It's incredible. What's gone on at our club in the last year.
I wonder where we'll be in another 6 months' time. Who will be hosting? Who will be on the show? What will the name of the channel be? Who will own the club? Who's the manager going to be? Who will be in the number 9 for Tottenham? We don't know. Yeah.
Well, the Spurs Five going from strength to strength, and hopefully Spurs will be looking at a European place for next season.
We better be, I tell you.
We shall see.
But we will see. Guys in the chat, get your super chats in. We will read them out every kind of 30, 40 minutes as the show goes on. But in our customary fashion, we do have to introduce our first guest of the evening. I wonder who's at the door. It's Danny, everybody, from the Hotspur Hood. How you doing, Dan?
Do you want to make something any more bloody cheesy?
Listen, it's Sean.
Seriously.
It's Sean. Sean loves it.
Have you ever had an introduction like that, Dan?
Anyone who thought I'd have just been coming into bloody home and away?
Brilliant.
The Tottenham are a bit of a soap opera, to be fair. We're not real. Tottenham,
you can't argue that.
Real.
Either way, same Spurs, different day. Same Spurs, different day. You two.
What's your name?
It is feeling like Groundhog Day at Tottenham. Can't lie about that. But
I've got to tell you, I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling more optimistic now than I have done for a little while. And the reason is that the guys at the top are building a structure for the football club, which is the first time we've had that. I think we're looking at the guy from the City group now, aren't we? We've had a performance director in. Vinay's come in. They've got Paratici and Lang now in proper roles. Things seem to be on the up. And listen, we've had many years of shit. We've got to go through the pain to come out the other side, and we'll be fine. I'm telling you. Got every confidence.
Right. Do you know what? We're going to make this the first topic of the night. I've decided. We are going to discuss the hierarchical restructure. I want to go back to the summer when I said we've brought in Charrington, an investment banker. We've brought in Vinay, an ex-Gooner, who apparently is going to be the fan relationship football director type guy. We've now got the 2 Joe Lewis kids but they love Tottenham. And for me, it doesn't matter if you love Tottenham. Can you do the job? And we've got Paratici and Lange. Now we're looking at the Man City guy. Is this not a case of too many cooks spoil the broth And is it not a case of we're being sucked into yet another change at the high level? I remember when Scott Munn came in. Oh, look, he's got Scott Munn in to now take over his role, and Scott Munn's going to do this and that. And we've got Lange, who's really good with the numbers. That was a disaster. Now, but we've got Vinay, we've got Charrington, we've got Joe Lewis's kids, we've got Lubo. Surely you've got to see some evidence, some results before you get super excited by all these different roles that we're creating and people we're bringing in, because we do this all the time as a fan base. How many times are we going to do this? Get excited before we're given any actual substance.
Okay, let me explain where I'm at. Transfer window starts January the 1st. So everything that's going on is outside of Lange and Puritish's remit. They can't buy players for another couple of weeks. What the club can do and has done, and I'm just looking down here, non-executive chairman, we've got, which is Charrington, CEO, which is Vinay, operations and finance director, still Collicott, lead independent director, Jonathan Turner, no change there. You've got a head coach, Frank, Cochrane, Georgeson and Matty Wells at the moment are his assistant coaches. You've had added a head of performance in Chris Halson. First team individual development coach, you've got Cameron Campbell. First team goalkeeper coach, again, there's no difference there. You've got the guy that's coming in for head of football now, which is going to be I can't find his name at the moment, but the guy.
But Lubo, you're just reeling off names and roles.
That's right, names and roles. But you know what? When Enoch bought the club,
and all the journalists are linking us with a bunch of kids again.
Well,
if you believe journalists, I don't.
We don't know. I know you don't take any notice, but when Enoch bought the club, it was worth 76 million, and I think they bought 29% for 22 million. I think was the initial outlay. It's now a £4 billion concern in terms of valuation, 3.5–4 billion. You know, we're turning over 600 million. That jumped a bit from whatever it was, 90, whatever it was. It was small when they bought in terms of turnover in 2000. So you've got to plan. I just think the club grew far too quickly for Levy. He couldn't control it. And the interesting thing is that you've got 4 or 5 roles that have been created for different people that are replacing all the work that Levy did. So he micromanaged the whole club. He's not a football man. So obviously the football side suffered. Now you've got specialists coming in who are going to do the job.
But Paratici was a specialist. Lange was a specialist. Munn was a specialist. Like they're all specialists.
Hang on, Munn wasn't a specialist. Munn, what was his specialist for? Organising the Olympics. He shouldn't have come in the.
Well, he developed the women's game in multiple regions. He had excellent knowledge of the markets in Asia to tap up players and get gems into the club. He was the guy that would expand our operations. He was an expert in that field. That's what we were told.
That's what we were told. I don't know what he did. Don't think.
Right. So why do you believe now what you're told?
Why? Because now, with the benefit of hindsight, I'm looking back and there was nothing I could actually say. What was Munn doing? He brought in Lange. He brought in Ange. I mean, neither of them were particularly good appointments for me personally. When I look at what Paul Mitchell did for the club. Just before and during Poch's tenure, for me, and he brought money in. So for me, they were poor appointments. And the club, we had a great day in Bilbao.
Yeah, but when we did sign them, though, when we did sign these people, I remember the YouTube and the podcast chats where things are changing. Finally, Levy's stepping away from football operations. Finally, he's handing over to experts. That's what was said when we signed them. Now what we're saying is, oh, but look what a bad job they did. Who appointed them? We're doing it again. We're just jumping on whatever the club feeds us, and we're saying, oh, look, he's an expert. Because he's from Man City. Simon Davies, the academy director, is from Man City. Saying,
we both agreed that Mum was there as a shield for Levy. I remember us having that conversation. That's all.
Yeah, you and I did. Yeah. You fair play. You and I did.
So for me now, and at last, the owners are not running the football on a day-to-day basis for the first time since Zenit took over. And this is how Fenway run it. This is how Man City run it. This is how Chelsea run it. So for me, this is a positive step in the right direction.
Let me ask you one question. Dan, let me ask you one question, and then you have your say on this as well. If at the end of January, okay, we haven't done that well in the transfer window, we signed a couple of kids, some more 19-year-olds and 20-year-olds and 16-year-olds, and maybe one half-decent player. Let's say that's how we end up the window, really underwhelming. Are you going to come on the show and say, Vinay, great, Charrington, great, new football director, great? Or are you going to say, you've been flogged a dead horse?
I'm going to be asking what Patricia and Lang have been doing for the last 4 months, since the beginning of September, October, November.
But you're saying you're excited. On the one hand, you're excited about what's going on.
Because a structure's been put into place, but in between transfer windows. The next step is to take the club forwards. We need better players. We need established players. That's the job of Patricia and Lang now.
So if at the end of the transfer window it's not that great, you're going to blame Paratici and Lange and Vinay and Charrington just get away with it. Is that what you're saying?
I don't think it's a question of getting away with it. Still, at the end of the day, you've got people that
they're in charge now. We blamed Levy for everything below. They're in charge now. So are they not culpable?
Listen, if Paratici and Lange, we'll all see everything gets leaked these days. We'll know from journalists, from this one, from that one, which players Spurs are in for. We'll all see whether Spurs are showing the necessary ambition that's needed. Don't need any more kids. Got kids coming out of every corner. We got 13 out on loan. We got 4, 5, 6 in the squad out of 30. Don't need any more. We need top established professionals to take the club up to the next level. So, and they will know that. They're not stupid. They're not idiots. They will know that. Spurs sent all those kids out on loan because they didn't think they were ready. So, and we know Vuskovic asked to go out himself. So they know they've got to buy established players. That's where they've got to go now for Jan. But I can only comment on what's going on outside of the transfer window. I haven't got a hotline to Paratici or Lang. I've got no idea what they're up to. But we'll see next month how far we get in the transfer window and how successful we are in terms of buying the right players in the right positions. What they pay, I don't care. I just want to. For me, it's not my money. I want to see them. I just want to see the top players in the shirt on the pitch.
All right, let me come to you, Dan. Right, same 2 questions. Question number 1: how do you feel about? We've now got Charrington and Vinay and Paratici and Lange and maybe the Man City guy, and there's a whole new structure that Lubo calls it. And the second question is, if at the end of the window in January we don't have that really, let's call it an underwhelming window. If you have an underwhelming window, are you going to be like Lubo and point the finger at Paratici and Lange, or are you going to look at the whole structure, which includes Vinay, Charrington, and whoever else we've got involved?
Well, first things first with it, I'm going to look at the whole structure. I'm not just going to make excuses out of one person, basically. I'm not too, how should I put it? I don't know if Spurs are going the right way at the moment in the aspect of who they're employing. Why? Because, I mean, do tell me if I'm wrong here, but I don't see why you need to employ 20, I know it's not 20, but 20 different people for maybe 4 jobs. Now, having one person to do everything isn't the smartest way to do it, I don't think. But we're literally getting people to do job, when there shouldn't really need that many people doing there. I think you can have too many people doing this. putting one person to each little department, basically, is that the smartest way to do it? I don't think so. But I suppose only time will tell with that one. It's just a question. I'm just not sold with the amount of people we're getting in here for all these different little jobs and everything else and that. I don't think it takes that many to do it. Now, I don't agree with the way it was done, where Levy basically done everything. But then if someone's putting it down for buying the players, this and that, and then it goes to another person to sort the contracts out, and another person to sort this out, and another person to sort that out. For me, that's just even more pissballing about that you don't need. But personal opinion, I ain't an out-and-out businessman, so I don't know. But it's just the way I'm seeing it at the moment. I'm thinking we're doing maybe a bit too much. But again, if it works or not, time will tell. If everything goes wrong, I suppose, I think this is where a few people are just going to have to finally sit down and accept that you can't just throw the brick at one person's head. You're not just going to have Levy there to blame for everything. So what you're going to do, if one little thing goes wrong in one direction, you're just going to focus it on that person? Or is it got something to do with everyone? Or are we now just going to have to look like, right, the transfer went right, this went right, that went right, but that fella got that bit wrong, which screwed up the whole thing, so it's totally his fault. This is what I'm saying here. Like,
well, Dan,
where is
just
this going?
Just on the transfer window, if we have an average transfer window, okay, not to say we don't know, but let's say we have an average transfer window. Are you going to point the finger just at Lange and Paratici?
No.
Okay, why not?
No.
Why not?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I know they've got their own jobs and that, but it's a bit of a teamwork job, isn't it? They've all got to work together in this for their own different parts of it. Again, someone do tell me if I'm wrong on this. I'm not expecting much in January. As long as we get a player in, or at least two loans in there that can make a significant change to that first team, okay, I'm going to sit back and be quiet. I'm interested by the end of the summer. I don't think you can see much change and what a lot of people are expecting to see when it comes to January. I think some people getting their hopes up a bit too high and their expectations up a bit too high, almost going on like we're this big club, this elite club that can just put his foot down and do what it wants when it wants. We can't. We are not an elite club. We are a big club that acts like a middle-aged club, basically. So we need to start acting like a big club. But I don't think we can really see any significant difference until the end of the summer. But something has to be done in January. And the other point of January, are we going to keep Frank? Ain't we going to keep Frank? Are they going to make their mind up in that? I think what they need to go and do, what I want to see them go and do, is buy a player, players, whatever, and buy for the club, not necessarily for Frank. Right, we need that centre mid out and that left winger. Go buy a quality centre mid, quality left winger, that if it don't work with Frank by end of the season, next manager that comes in, they're more than good enough to fold into his team.
Lubo, you wanted to say something on that?
Well, listen, people have got a role, and people have got to take accountability. Levy never took accountability for anything. Well, you know, we had 16 managers in 25 years. When a manager needed backing, when Redknapp was that close to City and United at Christmas, and he wanted Tevez and Cahill, he got Sahar and Nelson, and Spurs fell away from those top two points wise. There was never any accountability. Levy screwed up. He was accountable. He should have backed Redknapp. Nothing happened to him. And this way, people are in charge of their own departments. You've got a new head of medical. They've got to get the medical side sorted out. He's in charge now. That guy, whoever's in charge, he's got to take responsibility. That's his job. He's probably being very well paid. He takes responsibility for the medical side. Someone else on performance, someone else on in terms of physios with injuries, etc. You know, everyone has their role to play, and everyone's being paid. Everyone's got to do their job to the best of their ability. So for me, there's now it appears that there's now going to be accountability, because Levy had no accountability for 25 years, nothing as far as the football side was concerned. So for me, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Is there one or two extra people in, Dan? There may be. I think the only thing really interested in, to be fair, is what goes on the football pitch. But for things to be successful on the football pitch, there's got to be a good team behind it as well. So for me,
see, for me, guys, my opinion is the same as I have for Frank. When he came in, I never jumped on the gravy train. I said I'm going to wait and see. And the same with the board, this new corporate structure. I'm going to wait and see, because the amount of times I jump on something or I get excited by it, or I go against it very quickly and I turn on it too quick. I'm literally just waiting to see. But this January is an indication of what's to come for me. I agree with Dan. I don't expect us to go and sign lots of top players, but I do expect us to bring in at least 2 decent players. They don't have to be elite. They don't have to be brilliant. And I don't want to see kids, guys. I don't want to see kids. We've got enough of them. I want to see 2 experienced footballers come and join this team. If we do that, then maybe I can begin to say, you know what, hold on a minute. This is exactly what we need. But if they don't do that, you know, I can't get on board with it, Lubo. I simply can't, because it's just another nonsense. And, you know, we will end up finishing the season worse than what we started it.
well, I think they realise we're very short quality-wise in the squad. We're well short right the way around the squad. And even for me, you know, Vicario, who was keeping us in games and winning us points earlier in the season, he's having a mare at the moment. So there's a lot of work to do. Frank's got a lot of work to do. You know, he's walked in, and he's the first time, and one or two YouTubers have mentioned, first time there's no Kane or Son, you know, to bail Spurs out of trouble, because the squad's been left short for years and years and years. And now without them, we're even shorter. There's even less quality. So for me, you know, we're getting killed in midfield. Bergvall and Gray, I think will be super players. I think they're good players, but you can't chuck them in against top midfield teams like Tonali, Guimaraes. Lewis Miley has now pushed Joe Linton out because Joe Linton's out of form. You got the Villa midfield, you got the Liverpool midfield, etc., and we haven't got, our players aren't at that level at the moment. And midfield's key. So for me, they've got to go out. Basuma now is no longer part of it. Bentancur, unfortunately, I think has seen better days. Sarr is off to the AFCON, but he's been, after a very good start, he's been disappointing. So, you know, that's just midfield. Vicario's gone off. Defence is okay, but we're short. You know, if we pick up a couple of injuries in defence, we're in trouble. And up front, it's not really gelling, is it? Xavi Simons will be good. He probably needs this season to settle in. Richarlison, not for me. Solanke, not for me. There's a lot of work to be done. Odegaard and Tell are young, couple of years again for them, but we need players now, and we need quality players now. So, you know, they should be looking a minimum of 2 in the transfer window in Jan. I know it's not easy, but it's not easy for a lot of clubs. And, you know, and we picked up Bentancur and Kulusevski together. We picked up, was it Dragusin and Werner? I know Werner didn't turn out to be a decent loan, but the point I'm making is, you know, we picked up 2 players. So that's where we've got to go, a minimum of 2, and then in the summer, you know, we've got to get rid of 6 or 7. There's a lot of decisions to be made about players who are out on loan. Are any of them coming back? How many of them are coming back? If they're not coming back, are we going to sell them, or do we push them out again for a second season or third season on loan? If they're going out for third season, you know, do you take the risk that you might have a situation like a Harry Kane who had 4 or 5 loans, then came back and has finished up a world class striker, or do you say we just got to move it? So there's an awful lot of work to be done, and the other variable is on the manager side. You know, Spurs will know that Pochettino's coming to the end American contract. So, you know, are they? If Frank doesn't hit it, are they gonna jump again and go for Pochettino? So there's loads. There's so much that's going to be going on at Spurs over the next 6 months.
I like how you didn't mention that Frank needs to do better with the squad he's got. You always leave that bit out.
Does he need to be better? Listen, everybody can always.
I never said does he need to. He should be.
Well, listen, he's had good days with substitutions. He's had bad days like Sunday with substitutions. I think it's difficult. We've got to remember he's walked into a team that on the transfer front has been neglected pretty much for 10 years. He's taken a team that finished 17th. 17th. Let that sink in.
Yeah, but there's no context.
No.
We were 17th.
No.
Why were they 17th, Lupo? Why were they 17th? Why?
Because we lost 22 games and we got.
Why did we lose 22 games, especially the last 8? Especially the last 8. Why?
Because for me, the squad's not strong enough. We got 14. Still, we got 14 points in the last 19.
Why didn't Ange Postecoglou play his strongest team for the last 2.5 months of the season? Why didn't he do that?
Well, he was making 5, 6, 7 changes at a time.
Why didn't Ange Postecoglou play his strongest team for the last 2.5 months of the season? Why didn't he do that?
He should have rotated less.
That wasn't the
Lubo,
question.
why didn't he play his strongest players for the last 2.5 months of the season?
You got to ask him. Listen,
Okay. Mickey van der Ven did an interview. He did an interview which is on YouTube, and he said the manager told me I'm only going to play cup games for the remainder of the season. He prioritised the Europa. Mickey van der Ven has given verbal evidence. Hold on. Mickey, because you don't want to say it, so I'll say it.
No.
Mickey van der Ven gave verbal evidence. Right, it's because he focused on the Europa Cup and he just mugged off the league. That's why we finished 17th. That's why we finished 17th. We would have finished maybe what? Where would we have finished? 10th, 11th, 9th?
12th, something like that. 12th.
Something like that.
And then if we'd have finished 12th and won the cup, he'd have probably kept his job.
By the way, I've got to bring the next guest. We have him finally arriving. Lord help us. There's somebody at the door. The Professor of Truth and Entertainment, the ratings killer, Alex. Welcome. How are you?
Well, big up to everybody. That was a bit of a strange introduction. Bloody hell. What was that all about? Bloody hell. We had the Price is Right or something like that. God bless his soul, Bruce Forsyth, but, bloody hell. I don't know what we're doing here. Bloody hell. Are we that bored? You know what I mean? How's everybody? How's everybody at Deluded Land at the moment? You know what I mean? How's everybody?
We're all good, Alex. We're all good.
We're deluded.
All good, yeah. How's Lubo and his Archie Gray? That's no better.
We're not talking about Archie Gray today. We're having a chat about where the club are at the moment, Alex.
Oh, where the club are. Oh,
Alex, I'm going to ask you a question straight off the bat. Okay, we're talking about the corporate restructure. Carrington, Joe Lewis's 2 children, Vinay, Lange, Paratici, maybe this Man City chap who's going to join us. Are you excited by it? Do you think this is a step in the right direction, or is it all fluff for you? Like you're not bothered until you see results from them. Where are you at with that? That's what we're talking about.
Well, what the Vinay and everybody else at the moment, yeah?
Yeah.
About, yeah.
And Lange and Paratici and Joe Lewis's kids, everything.
Well, I think I'd said everything already on my channel, like before when Daniel Levy left. When I heard that people were saying that we're the sleeping giants, which was a load of crap. For me, like I said, you're not the sleeping giants when you've got Johan Lang in charge of the transfers. You've got, yes, we got Paratici in. I don't know if we're a sleeping giants just because you got Vinay, who's just good communicator. And I don't. You're a sleeping giant if you finished 17th last season. The manager that did actually get us the cup didn't actually help us get the cup. It was actually the players that actually got us the cup, and Van der Ven's actually confirmed that, by the way.
He hasn't confirmed it. He hasn't confirmed it.
So, and which is what I said, and big up to Sava as well. He said it as well. There's only so much I can say. Like I said, there's a reason why I switched off since Pochettino, that people completely have a go at and say he's a loser, which, yeah, promise he was a loser. But at the same time, developed a lot of players and did it through when we were at Wembley, which people completely forget, for 2 years. So, for me at the moment, I need to be proved wrong. I need my Tottenham back, whatever that Tottenham back is. You know what I mean? Because I don't know what Tottenham is anymore. I'm so bored with Tottenham that you know what? Sometimes I just feel like just not even watch it or just keep away from it for about a year or so.
So, Alex, in terms of the structure, you're not. I started off by saying that we are now putting a structure in this football club for the first time since Enoch joined, and people are now going to have accountability, because Levy wasn't accountable for anything that went wrong on the football side, and that's how we started. Are you looking at that thinking that's giving you confidence?
I've got no confidence, Luba. I've got no confidence in what's going on at the moment. No, not at all. Until I see something, I don't know. I've got no idea. I've got absolutely no idea. And I'm going on the last how many 5 years now of
No. We're talking about, Alex. We're talking about what Spurs have done in the last few months.
No, I still don't know. I still don't know, Lubo. I still don't know. I'm being honest with you right now, right? Until I see something and it gets me excited, and when I mean excited, I actually will feel excited, not pretend or be fake about it, right? And that's when I'll say, and you'll know when I'm happy. You know what I mean? At the moment, there's a reason why I'm just rolling my eyes every single time, and people are saying I'm negative, because at the end of the day, I cannot get on board, because it just feels like the same old thing, right? I've done this. I've done YouTube for how many years now? 5-6 years. This is no different. No different. I see the same things. I see the same things on every other channel. If I do watch it, if I'm bothered about watching it, I see the same old reactions. I see the way that people are saying, "Oh, we need to be positive," and I'm not doing it anymore. I'm very honest about what I see now, what I see on the pitch, and what I see on outside the club. With the boardroom. I'm very honest.
Alex, are you going to wait and see what happens before you decide about the new structure, whether it's a positive thing or whether it's noise?
I can't make a decision on it. No, I can't. I can't make a decision on it. No, because why couldn't I get positive about it when there's nothing different at the moment? Yes, Daniel Levy's left, but the problem is at the moment, right? I think since he's left, I think there's been a lot of talking and not a lot of action. Not a lot of action. Too much talking, not that much action. And again, like I said, I know we're talking about the board, but I don't think winning that Europa League has actually helped us a lot, to be honest with you. It's like I said, it's like having that one night stand that was the best night of your life, right? And then nothing happens afterwards. You know what I mean? Because you weren't good enough for that lady.
Well, is it not fair to say that you've now got potentially, and we'll see, because actions will speak louder than words, you've now got a new regime.
For a start, I don't know. I mean, the one thing I would say at the moment is that I don't know whether, with this whole news about this new guy that may be coming in, I don't know whether Rio Hanlang's position is going to be under threat, which I wouldn't be surprised about. Prodigy will get signings in. What signings that will be, whether they're going to be great. There might be two of them be great. I don't know. There might be, yes, but you know that Prodigy will have a stinker of one of them somehow. but it's just the process really for me, Lubo. You know, the whole thing about the manager and the whole thing with the hierarchy. For me, I don't know whether they have a plan of whether who's in charge. Is it the director of football that's in charge, right? And then you've got a coach or coaches that are coaching the players, or is it just the manager? If it's the manager, you've picked your manager. You're either going to stick with him or go. You know what I mean? You've got to stick with him or go. Either way, right? But if you're going to do it with the director of football, who's the main guy? Is he the main guy that's going to be in control of the transfers, what happens above? And then you've got coaches. And then if the coaches are the coaches, right? If you're not happy with that coach, you can just get rid of that coach and get another coach in, and that's it.
Well, you know,
so like it back in Europe.
That's Frank's team, though. What you've got the new guy that's coming in who's going to be head of football operations. Then you've got below him in terms of recruitment, you've got Paritici and Lang, and then you've got first team where you've got Frank, you've got Cochrane, you've got Georgeson, and you've got Matthew Wells. So those are your layers in terms of the playing side. Where I was coming from is that I split it into two. I split it into pre-transfer window month and let's see what happens in January. For me, it was all about putting strategies into place. Every business has got to have a strategy. Tottenham Hotspur have never had a strategy with Levy. You look at the different types of managers that play the different types of football, and you can see. So each manager ends up with several players from each of the previous few managers who were all brought in to play different styles. And so no manager actually comes in with a squad that he can actually work with who are suitable in, like a bulk number of players who are suitable to play the football he wants to play. So we're always starting again. This way, hopefully, there's no culture at the club. There's no identity. Tottenham Hotspur don't have an identity anymore.
Well,
they've got to sort that out very quickly.
Yeah, I agree with you, Luba. That's why what
they're doing. That's what they're doing here, Alex. That's what they're doing here. In terms of Jan, we'll see what happens next month.
Well,
that's
one thing,
the point,
Ian.
Luba. Go on.
There was a strategy, and it worked. It just didn't work on the football side. The football side wasn't the strategy. The strategy was to make the club a business. The strategy was to make the club bigger. The strategy was to make this club massive on the industrial side, and it worked.
On the commercial
when it comes to the footballs, no. So they did not state that they was coming in to take Tottenham for the money.
Right, but we're here. We're football fans. So
no. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. So that is what they stated, yeah? Right. That was their strategy. They didn't care about the football. Their strategy worked. They made the club the size it is now. The reason Tottenham Hotspur is the size it is now is because they've got to go over to the next side, to the football side. They can't really improve Spurs any of that. The only thing they can do is sell the names of the stadium, innit? Really. Apart from that, they need to now make Spurs big on the football side to start bringing in more money, because I don't think they can really bring in much more money from the other side. So there was a strategy. I just think a few people need to be very careful here and just remember that the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Nothing wrong with having hope, but just remember that grass ain't always greener on the other side. Well, and the problem is when you have more people in jobs, you also get more problems. This is where I'm very funny with everything that's going on at the moment. And I'm going to have to see a lot of things to start believing a lot of things. I'm sorry, I'm not a firm person that sits there and says, yes, I think that's going to work and get high over it. i.e., I'm not religious. I have to see to believe. At the moment, as all I'm seeing is a couple of new names coming in. Well, quite a few names coming in. And no improvement on the football side. Worse on the football side. In every which way, basically. And I'm seeing nothing at the moment. So until I see something happen in January, and then I will make a proper judgment on ENIC by the end of the summer, We can sit here and talk about this all day long, and it's all guesses and ideas and could be's and maybes and ifs and buts, and it could go right, and we could end up in actually an even worse position.
Yeah, I think I think Dan's just hit the nail on the head, and that's where I'm at the moment. You see what I'm saying? It's like I don't see anything different at the moment. There's a lot of, like I said, there's some of the stuff I was hearing after Daniel Levy left. Everyone was saying we're sleeping giant and all this stuff and all that, and I was like, wait a minute, hold your horses here, just hold your horses. And then the rivals were going all mad, saying, "Oh, Tottenham are really dangerous." I was like, I'm missing something, or I really am missing something at the moment. Right? Only one man's just left. You don't know what that means. What does it look like? Our future without Daniel Levy? No one could tell me what that was. I didn't know what it was. So I was like, why is everybody getting too excited? You know what I mean? And so I think Dan's just hit the nail on the head, really, for me. Like, there's a lot of talking, but, as a football club, we're not at that stage where we can press our chest out and say we can do something, because we haven't proven it.
No, Alex, no one's saying that. The point I'm talking about, when I talk about strategy, I talk about football. I'm a football fan.
Yeah,
for me, it's not the commercial side. I don't come on podcast to talk about the commercial side. I come on podcast to talk about the football club and the football side. And I want to see success. And I want to have great nights like I've had through the years. Unfortunately, as I've got older and older, they've become fewer and fewer. So for me, it's about a football strategy. Should have made that clear. So there's been no short, mid, or long-term strategy at the club for 25 years. It appears that there now will be. So for me, in between transfer windows, Levy's gone. He left 3 days after the end of the transfer window, and they've gone about strengthening the structure of this football club. So for me, that makes me more optimistic as to where we're going. How's the football side going to get good, going to improve? We've got to get better players in. And that process hopefully starts in a couple of weeks' time.
Well, we did get better players in. We got 4 better players in that walked into that first team, basically. Okay, Mwane's got to improve, but we got 4 very established players there, and we're doing worse. Okay, we've had some injuries. I'll go with that. But surely we should be doing a little bit better than what we are.
Well, you look at last season, Dan, we've lost about 65 goals.
Ian, mate, don't even try me with last season, yeah? You were the biggest one on here preaching how we should be like in 6-7 last season.
Right.
At the start of this season.
We still score goals. We let loads in, but we score goals last
season. Yeah, but the top goal scorer is on the bench every game, Lubo.
But he doesn't suit the style that Frank's playing.
But you just said we've lost goals. And I'm saying the top goal scorer is on the bench. We haven't lost him. He's not being played.
No, but Madison, Son, Solanke, and Kulu, he hasn't had. Son's got.
But he signed Kudus, Mwane, and Simmons.
Okay, but you've still lost goals, and the players that have come in.
Yeah, but we bought them. Frank brought these players in to replace that. No.
Still, up to now, they haven't replaced it, have they?
Right. So last year we blamed Ange for signing players that weren't good enough. So Frank signed these players as well, didn't I?
I blamed Ange for playing in the style that he played in. For me, that was the biggest problem I had with Postecoglou, was playing 2 at the back, inverted fullback, so you played 5 in midfield.
But that style scored more goals and conceded less goals.
It brought more goals, conceded more goals, but the style
it conceded less. We conceded less after 16 games than Frank.
But still, he got in his first. I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to work out the points per games in his first 19 games.
Ange had 1 more point this stage of the season than Frank.
So he had 23 from 16.
Yeah.
He had 20. He finished up Ange with 24 from 19. So for the next 22,
we can't have that. We can't have that conversation because we can only judge where we are now. And so far, Frank is doing exactly the same as Ange, but with worse.
So from now to the end of the season, Ange got 15 points.
Yeah, but that's guessing what Frank's going to do. We don't know. We can only go by now. We,
No,
you-
fact
we,
is-
we can't play the guessing game.
No, I'm saying the fact is that Ange got 15 points from 22 games.
Because he had multiple injuries and he rested most of the best players for the last 2.5 months of the season, which we've established.
Well, listen,
The point is, Lubo, can I just say something? Can I just say something? Because I personally don't want to repeat the same chat we have every single week. 'Cause I'm genuinely bored of it. What I want to say is this. Lubo, I just want to say one thing because I haven't spoken for about 20 minutes. Whenever Spurs collapse or Spurs are just rubbish, which right now we are rubbish. Everyone's laughing at us. When Spurs are rubbish, this is what happens. As fans, we all become divided. Blame the manager, or blame the players, or blame Paratici, or blame Levy's legacy, or blame Ian. We always look for someone to blame, and we don't budge. It's like, no, this is where I'm at. I'm not budging. So you're not going to convince me that Frank shouldn't be doing better. And I'm not going to convince you that Frank should be doing. Like, we're not going to convince each other. We've made up our minds, and we're just going to stick there. So there's no point in having this conversation because we just repeat it every week. What I do want to say though is this: from now until, let's say, the end of January, if the results don't improve and if the results continue like this, we will be in a relegation battle. And at that point, I don't think this board are going to give the flexibility they gave Ange, because Ange was still in that Europa. And being in that Europa meant if he wins it, he gives them the Champions League money because you get automatic qualification. Yeah. Frank's not going to have that luxury. So do you agree then, regardless of whether you think Frank should be doing better or whether he's doing as good as he can, do you agree, and this is, I'll ask you, Alex, and you, Dan, as well. Lubo, you go first. Do you agree if the results do not change by the end of January, and let's say we're out of the cup as well, let's just say we go out, Testament. You never know, we might win, we might lose. If we got the FA Cup and at the end of January, these results continue, they're going to get rid of him because they cannot risk the club being relegated. Do you agree with that at least, or not?
If it dives, if it's defeat after defeat after defeat, I think we've got 7 or 8. I'm not sure whether Man City's end of Jan or beginning of Feb, but
let's look at the fixtures. We've got Liverpool next, then we've got Crystal Palace.
Liverpool, then we got Palace away and Brentford away.
Okay.
Sunderland at home, Bournemouth away, West Ham at home, Burnley away, and then Man City either end of Jan or beginning of Feb.
So other than West Ham and Burnley, all those games sound difficult to me. Other than West Ham and Burnley, which I expect us to beat Burnley away, and West Ham at home, we beat them 3-0 away. We can beat them at home, surely.
Well, look at all the results in the Premier League this year. There are no easy games.
Okay, so if we lose all those games in Lugo, is he going to stay at this club?
Is he going to stay?
You're taking me to say that all these games are hard, which means if he loses them all, is he going to be there?
I think he'll be here for the season.
Even if we go on a really bad run up until the end of January.
Listen, if we go and lose 6 or 7 games on the bounce, then I think any manager in the Premier League is going to be struggling to.
What if we only win 2 in the next 7?
Depends if you draw 3, you lose 2. I mean, the last 3 games still. Games.
If we're in that relegation zone, in the relegation zone, then.
Well, we're 9 clear of West Ham at the moment. We're
forget where we are now. Thank you. If we get drawn into that relegation scrap, do you think they're going to stick it out with him the way they did with Ange?
It's a good question. Will they be strong enough? Will they be strong enough to stay with the manager, or will they buckle and?
What do you think they'll do?
Personally, I don't think we'll be in the relegation zone. I think we're a mid-table. I think we're a mid-table team still.
Luke, you just told me the next 7 games are all difficult, even Burnley.
No.
There's a chance we could lose them because they're difficult, which means we will be in the relegation zone if we lose the next 7.
But there's also a chance. Spurs can go and win them.
How many splinters do you want to freaking have up your backside? Just sit on that fence. Like there's no tomorrow now. I'm trying to get you to commit to something, and you.
I think he'll be here.
What's your opinion if we lose the next 7, Lupo? If we lose the next 7,
the chances are he will be gone. He will be gone.
Even though they've come out and said that they're going to back it. even though they've said that.
That's normally the kiss of death, isn't it? When a chairman comes out and backs, or a CEO backs the manager's not normally around for too long after that. But, listen, it's a mid-table team. They're inconsistent. They can be great one week. They can be awful the next. We had a fighting draw at Newcastle. We dispatched Brentford pretty easily with a decent performance. And then we go to Forest and
that Brentford game was our best performance at home all season. That was our best home performance for the season, I think. We played better than what we did against Burnley, actually, I think.
Oh, do you know what I find the amusing thing is? Yeah, I just find the amusing thing with all this bullshit, basically, is the way that all of us sat there last season. This team is better than 17th. You're like, no shit, Sherlock. I gathered that one. Yeah, everyone could work that one out. And I think a majority of us agreed that Spurs should be finishing this season, let's say, between 7th and 8th. 6 and 8th, I say. A lot said 6, a lot said 8. I didn't really see anyone say double figures and everything. And with the players we've bought, we've had a good transfer window. Yes, we needed more players, but we actually bought 4 established players, 3 established and 1 on more potential, but we've seen he's good, which is a lot better than what we usually do and everything and that. People saying, we should be doing this, we should be doing that. Frank's got what it takes to do it for us. Frank's going to make a difference. All of a sudden, we're looking worse than we did under, dare I compare to the person from last season. Otherwise, I can't really judge whether we've done better. Tell you what, I'll just totally blank out Ange and everything that happened with Ange, and I'll say, Thomas Frank is not doing better. I can't. Do I compare him to Conte now? Or how do I judge whether we're doing better or not? Basically, it's gone tits up. And it is going tits up in a big way. And there is nothing really there showing that unless we buy some players soon or get something in there or Frank manages to do something with the team or whatever else, there's no sign there really that anything is going to get better. Yeah.
I blame.
So what it's come to now is basically, I think a lot of people who, well, let's say positive. I think a lot of us were positive and now looking at it and just saying, oh, do you know what? Yeah, it's his first season. We can't judge nothing. We can't say nothing about Mr. Frank until the end of the season. You've got to give him his time. He needs his windows. He needs. Yes, I know how the system works. Yeah, but I do find a lot of people backtracking on themselves on how a season means everything, a game means everything, and now people are basically just taking. It's his first season. Don't worry about it. He needs time. That's it. The season's written off anyway. Don't worry about it. Yet, as all I heard all the other seasons is people preaching about every game. Every game matters. Maybe some people sitting on a fence is one thing, yeah. But then jumping from one side to the fence every 5 minutes is a total different story. You're going to hurt your legs in the bloody process.
To answer the question first, right? For me, if he's in the relegation zone, if he's fighting relegation and it's close to relegation, he needs to be sacked. That's not good enough for Tottenham Hotspur. Just put it off the bat. Same thing should have happened last season with Ange, by the way, right? Especially what I heard with Van der Ven, right? I don't care if the players liked him. For me, right, that was embarrassing what I heard. The fact that it took the players to tell him what to do, right? And their players were orchestrating what they were going to do in the games that we won to get to that cup. Right, so really, this is more on what happened last season is coming back to bite us this season, right? Because the fact that they were left to their own devices in the cup, right? The fact that we let go of the league, didn't care about the league, right? Now you're seeing the result of that this season, okay? And I think that's why everyone's to blame. And I don't think I can sum it up any more than that, really, for me. You know what I mean? Because, we're playing the same way that we're playing in those games in the last, in the Cup, in the Europa League. The last games against Frankfurt in the second leg, Bode in the second leg, and the Man United game was absolute crap, right? And yes, we won the Cup, but it just shows you that we've lost, like Lubo's just said, we lost our identity. We don't know what our identity is at the moment. You know what I mean? And we're saying we want to go to the next level because we've got Champions League, we want to move to the next level. But if you don't know what your identity is, if you don't know how you're going to move forward. And you've got a manager that keeps on changing like Frank does, right? And he's not even at that level yet because he's at Brentford. What are you supposed to say? What are you supposed to say at the moment? You see what I'm saying?
This is why you've got the club have lost their identity. They've lost their culture. Last 25 years. This isn't just a question of. This is much bigger than just bringing in 2 or 3 players and all of a sudden the results pick up and you're challenging top 6. This is about a big club, not an elite club, but a big club that have lost their way under the current owners. This is a big club. We've got a great fan base. We were going to Wembley. We averaged about 70,000+ at Wembley.
And the rest.
Maybe
we had a good 80,000 in there.
We had for some games, didn't we? And so it's got to start at the top. There's got to be a winning culture. That comes from the top and comes down. So for me, they're trying to put everything in place. You've got owners that have stepped back, that are just following it and have given responsibility to a lot of other people to go and run the club and make it successful. Things don't happen in 5 minutes.
When was the last time we had an identity in? What do you call an identity? Like, define it for me so I can actually understand.
Before we do that, we'll make that the next question. I just want to very quickly do the super chats because they've been sitting there for a while and I want to just jump on them before I forget. Big thank you to Dean Law for your super sticker. Very much appreciated. Also, Emma Morton, thank you as well for your super sticker. Big up to Sava, Football Heritage TV, who says, I'm with you still. All well and good changing the hierarchy, but we will only be able to see if it's fruitful by the caliber of players we buy. We'll take time, but in January, we must see green shoots. Guys, we've got 650 people watching. Smash a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, get your super chats in, keep your comments coming in. Lubo, identity, describe, explain, tell us.
Please do.
Exciting attacking football.
When?
A club that went out and bought flair players.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we were never a league team. We won 12 cups in 38 years, which is a very healthy amount before Enoch joined. And we were buying flair players. You know, we had players that, you know, fans flocked to the ground. The ground was sold out month after month, year after year, decade after decade. We had great crowds. We had great players.
Where are their flair players? Okay, if Spurs' identity is these flair players that I always hear you say, do tell me if I'm wrong again, yeah? But the main thing you always state to me when you talk about this Tottenham Hotspur way of playing and everything else, which I don't agree with personally, but it's all personal opinion. These flair players, then where the hell are they? There's no such thing really as flair players in football anymore, bar here or there. It's not really the way football is anymore, yeah? Maybe the way you're seeing it with this identity of Tottenham of having flair players, out and out attacking football, this and that. Ian, it's 2025, mate. Maybe time has adapted over our identity if we had one. I'm asking a question, that's all.
Dan, we need to again, first of all, have a winning culture at the club, a winning mentality.
Obviously.
That's the first thing.
100% with you.
And for me, I'll repeat what I said. When I say an identity, you've got to say, right, what sort of football do we want to play? We've got to put a structure in place. For me personally, what would I do? I would bring in 2 or 3 ex-players, top legends who understand the game, preferably players with coaching badges as well, and bring them in and run the football side. A bit like Ajax do. Ajax play a certain way. So you would be buying players.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood. Sorry.
You'd be buying players that play a certain way, and you would have the managers coming in to play that way. You wouldn't have a situation where you got Poch playing a certain way. Then he goes out. Mourinho comes in. Completely different. You're going from expansive to pragmatic. Mourinho goes out. Nuno comes in. More of the same. Conte comes in, you got a different style again. Ange comes in, completely reverse to Conte, and then they bring Frank in, who's the opposite to Ange. So it's a shit show. The whole thing's ridiculous. How can you actually run?
Yeah, but what is our identity, Ian? What is our identity?
We don't have one at the moment. We don't have one. We don't have one.
When did
There
we
is
last
no-
have an identity then?
I'll tell you what the Spurs. I'll tell you what Spurs' identity is. Spurs' identity has always been known as being front-footed, attacking football, and we play to win, not to try and not lose. That's always been the Spurs way. Now, whether you do it with push and run, whether you do it with possession base, whether you do it with quick transitional play, it doesn't matter the way you do it. But the idea is we go on that pitch, we attack, but don't be so bloody wide open as Ange ball. So when you look at Pochettino, he's the closest thing we've come to what Spurs is. Front-footed, attacking football with a decent defence. That's what the Spurs identity is, but that's been lost. It's been lost because of what Ian said. Chopping and changing different players for different managers, different systems, different profile of player, different transfer committee, different football director. The academy has changed. The academy has changed 3 times in terms of the philosophy of the academy in the last 20 years.
You just said it.
So basically,
it's the director of football that's a problem. It's the director of football.
No, it's the hierarchy. The hierarchy.
But I'm saying, but you said that's the most important thing here, right? It's the most important thing. The director of football, whoever you want to call it, chief executive, whatever it is, that has been the problem for Tottenham for a long time.
Alex. It's the chairman.
I know, but I'm saying that, but then you got the chairman, but then you got the director of football. And what has been stable in big clubs that have been successful? The director of football.
Alex, let me. No, it's the chairman. Let me tell you why. When Abramovich went to Chelsea, he said, "I want to win. I want to win everything, and I want to win it every single year. And I will employ the people to make that happen." Right? When Daniel Levy became chairman, what did he set out for us to do? No one knows. Some people say it's top 4. Some people say money.
Did we lose our? I'm just trying to understand this identity thing, because obviously it's something I don't understand. So I'm trying to. So did we lose our identity when we got Daniel Levy?
No, we lost our identity when we brought in Australian Sugar.
What about before then? Like, so up until then.
Yeah.
Up until
the 80s, we were a cracking team. Parts of the 70s, we were good. The 60s, we were brilliant. The 50s, we were good.
Okay. Up until we got Alan Sugar, we basically played a certain way the whole time without fail. That way without fail, and until we got Sugar that it changed. I'm just trying to understand this.
No, hold on. How you play and why you play that way is one thing. Whether it works or not is down to many factors: investment, wages, transfer, maintaining a structure of the academy plays the same as the first team. All of that.
Is that the identity, the way you play?
Well, you've got two identities. You've got two identities. You've got two identities. You've got the football team identity, then you've got the club identity. There's two. The club identity is what they call culture. The football identity is what is your style of play.
So, culture for the club, we've always been. How shall I put it? Without just sounding,
the culture of the club historically has been a cup team, a cup-winning team. That's been the culture.
Basically, we've always been a bit of a underbelly club, basically, that is a cup-winning club. Nothing more, nothing less sort of thing.
Yeah, we're not really a league club.
Nothing that can even stand there and compare to Everton as such for the amount of times they've done the big stuff with the league and stuff like that. We've just been a cup club. That is our culture.
But we were the kings of the cup, and we were the kings of the cup. We were the most successful London club in Europe. We won the most FA Cups. We'd won more League Cups than Chelsea, West Ham, Arsenal. We were the kings of the cup in London.
Well, not now.
No, not now, because the last 35 years has been a shit show, isn't it?
Well, great. So you can reminisce about the past here, but go on, Dan. Sorry.
Okay, no, I'm just trying to understand this whole culture thing, because I hear it so many times, and there's a lot of it that I just think some people need to wake up.
We don't have a culture anymore, Dan. We don't have one anymore.
My point is, the reason I ask so much on this is because I just think, personal opinion, I just think a few people need to wake up to reality and realise this is actually 2025, not 1975, for God's sake, yeah? Time doesn't wait for no man, yeah? You have to adapt with the world, basically, otherwise the world will leave you behind. So, do we have to adapt to a way?
No. We need to adapt, We need to adapt our methods, processes, and systems to deliver the culture and identity. We haven't moved with the times in terms of how we scout, how we develop academy players, how we invest in the right players, how we are prepared to break the wage bill to get the best players to compete with the way the game's changed. It's very money orientated. We haven't changed with the way success is delivered. That's what we haven't. That's what we haven't moved with. We've lost the plot.
So basically, time has left us behind.
No,
Yeah, it has.
We chose that though. We chose that path.
Yeah,
That's
whether
why-
we chose it or not, sorry, Alex, last bit. Whether we chose it or not, fine.
Yeah.
Chose it, didn't choose it, whatever. So basically, from what I'm understanding, what you said, the fact is, time actually left Spurs behind.
Dan, can I say something to you?
Of course you can.
The number one reason, right? The number one reason I said keep Ange. The number one reason was not because I really believed he was going to win us a league, or because I really thought that over the next 5 years he could rebuild us into a dynasty. It's because for the first time in a long time, we'd won something. The number of fans that turned up at the parade, we've never seen anything like that. That many people turn up to a parade. And those players, for that moment, united. And I thought, if we've got any chance of building on that, keep that positive energy together. Let's see how it goes at the start. If it's a mess, he'll get back, regardless of what I think. If it works, and we brought him in some Kuduses, Simmons and Paulinho's, I think it's the best chance we've got right now, because he's brought back a winning mindset or a winning culture. The fact that he mugged off the league to go for the Europa, we were 90 minutes away from a Carabao Cup final as well, by the way. I don't think Ange was anything great, but he brought something to the club that we'd been lacking for years. And I thought,
Yeah, but
Alex, one second. You can have your say, no doubt. And I just thought, if we're going to have a cultural shift of going back to winning cups, because that's what we are, we're a cup-winning team, maybe, just maybe, this guy might be worth the ticket. He's gone, so it doesn't matter what I think. Now, it feels like we're back to square one again. Everyone's arguing, the club's in disarray, fuck. If we sacked Ange and brought in a winner to build on that, like let's say we brought in Glasgow, or let's say we brought in Nagelsmann, someone that's won something, and that is the level above Ange, I could have said, you know what, this makes sense. With bringing in Frank, we've taken a punt on the culture, the punt on the identity of how we play, and it feels we're in limbo again. So when we talk about culture and identity, I actually think Ange was closer to it than what we've done now.
So basically, with this culture and identity of playing that we've got and everything,
yeah,
Frank doesn't really match the culture and identity with the way he plays and everything.
I don't think so, no. I don't think he matches.
It's just a question. I'm just trying to understand this culture and identity thing, because I think a lot of it is bullshit, personally. But
at the same time, Dan, at the same time, I'm prepared to mug off the Tottenham way or any identity of play.
Yeah.
If it wins. So if Conte wants to be
Exactly
counter-attacking, but you give him his players and he wins you the league, who gives a shit?
But that's the problem still. That is the biggest problem.
But not every fan thinks like that.
I'm with you. No, I'm with you on this one still. 100% I'm with you on this one. But then that is the problem that Frank had from day one, which I did warn everyone from the very, very day of things, he's going to have the problems of that people aren't going to want him in general, because he isn't a top-class manager. He hasn't proven nothing as yet. He's proven that he can keep stability in the small club. And I want him as well, because I think he has got potential. But there was a lot of Ange people who still wanted him in. And then he was going to have the problem with he doesn't play the Spurs way. Maybe, again, this is my point. Maybe a few people just need to wake up and realise we are in 2025.
That's the big thing for a lot of fans, I'm telling you. A lot of fans.
And maybe a lot of... Yeah, but if we're going to be totally honest here still, let's just be totally honest with ourselves. With a lot of these fans with this Spursy way attitude, if you want to call it that, I mean, it's a lovely name we earned ourselves. I mean, you don't get a stereotypical name for no reason, do you? Yeah. What sort of... how shall I put this? I don't think you see the 20-year-olds complaining that we're not playing the Spurs way. I don't think you see the 30-year-olds doing it either. I think you see round about some of the 40-year-olds having an idea. I think it's the older generation as such, like say from 40s, 50s and that might have to back down a bit and understand that football has adapted and changed. And maybe this Spurs way isn't necessarily going to come back. And if you want to win, you have to adapt to modern day football.
Do you know who plays the Spurs way and wins trophies? Do you know who plays the Spurs way and wins trophies? Do you know who does?
I'd say the closest I've seen to it is Klopp.
Mate, the closest to it is the Spurs Academy right now. They play the Spurs way.
And I don't watch Spurs Academy, so I can't answer that.
Simon Davies came in to replicate the Man City methodology. He's done it. Our academy teams, the way they play football, out from the back, possession, quick transitions, dribblers, ballers, finishers, they play the Spurs way and they win trophies. Our academy actually does it. They do.
But
fair enough.
This is the problem I have at the moment.
It means nothing because the academy's not the first team and everyone just cares about the first team. So,
but this is the problem I have at the moment, right? Is that I hear what people are saying about the identity and stuff, and I hear it, and I don't want to go back to Ange, but the problem I have with this whole thing about Ange at the moment is that people keep on saying about it, but we already seen season 3 already with Ange with Nottingham Forest, and that's been an absolute disaster. So that just kind of negates their point straight away there, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Because we're Nottingham Forest, not on, but they were in Europe. They're kind of similar level to Tottenham, and you saw what he did there. Even though the season we had was absolutely terrible with him, you know what I mean? So I don't think anybody's winning in this at the moment. You see what I'm saying? I think we're just arguing for argument's sake because we all got our agendas of what we want to see at the moment with Tottenham at the moment, and we're not really getting anything at the moment, really, as fans that we're enjoying at the moment. You see what I'm saying? You know, if we like Frank or we don't like Frank or we wanted somebody else in, I just don't think we're getting what we want. I don't think anybody's getting what they want at the moment, and it's just frustration at the moment.
Alex, fans want to see good football. They pay high prices. I understand that. The difference here is that we've had 10 years of pretty poor recruitment, with a few exceptions. Look at the midfield that we've. I think Connor sent through something that Sava read out on his chat. The players that the other clubs have bought in midfield over the last few years, and we bought in the last 3 years. We bought Graham Bergvall, who were for the future, and Chelsea have bought Caicedo and Fernandes. Villa have bought their midfield. Mind blank. I'll come back to that in a minute. Newcastle, Tonali, Guimaraes, Joe Linton. They bought Lewis Miley through. Villa bought John McGinn from Hibs for $3 million. They bought Onana. They had Douglas Luiz. Luiz went out. And they replaced him straight away. So, for me, the recruitment's been poor. It has been poor. We needed a 6 to play the Ange way. He didn't want to buy a 6. We just got Polina, and he will be good for this season. Whether they keep him or not, I don't know. Personally, when I looked at Caicedo, who can do what Polina does and a lot more, that's the sort of player that you want. Correct, Tielemans, Rodgers as well. So, for me, recruitment's been really poor. If you compare all the players now, and for me, I like Romero and Van der Ven. They're the best two for me in the squad. You compare the players compared to the Poch team of 2016, 2017. They've got 86 points.
No, don't do that, Lubo. Don't compare.
Don't compare. This is how we have. No,
it's about the future, Ian. Don't compare.
No. So, the point I'm making is that we have regressed. The quality of the players has regressed massively in the last 8 years. And fans expect Frank to play this expansive way like Pochettino but without the players that Poch had. And unfortunately, I think we've all got to wake up and see exactly where Spurs
Lubo,
are.
has Frank ever been that manager though that plays expansive football? Has he ever been that guy?
And Frank,
Yeah.
probably not. Probably not. He played.
So do you think, Lubo? Do you think then, going back to football and culture, do you think if Frank was back, let's say he gets 300, 400, 500 million, gets to rebuild some good players as well? Do you think if he had a good group of players, we were winning most games, but the football wasn't the nicest on the eye? Do you think fans would accept that or not?
I think if you're winning, fans accept it. Because at the end of the day, what does a fan want? A fan wants winning football. Who wants to play highline expansive football? Hang on. Who wants to play the Ange way and lose 6-3 to Liverpool at home?
Quite a few people did, mate. Quite a few people did.
But Lubo, we need to stop this whole thing with like. Listen, again, I don't want to talk about it, but this is a lie, really. At the end of the day, about this whole attacking expansive football range. Yeah, to win. He didn't do this when we're winning. He didn't do it, right? He was playing the same way that we're playing now to win that cup.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He did.
Early on.
No, yeah, but we're not talking about earlier on. We're talking about the major, the last part of the tournament.
No,
right? Frankfurt away.
Alex, you missed the point I'm making. The point I was making was the fans want to see winning football. Yeah. I don't want to see us flinging players up, getting caught up, being picked off by opponents like Liverpool did at Spurs.
Right. Are you bothered, Ian, how we win? Do you just want us to win, come love nor money? Doesn't matter how we play football, doesn't matter what way we do it, doesn't matter how filthy we look on that pitch and unskillful and dirty. As long as we win it, you don't care. Or does this Spurs... Go on.
Okay. Obviously, I want to see us play good football and win.
That wasn't the question.
If I can't see us play good football and win, then I just want to see us win.
Right. So basically, the answer to the question is you couldn't care less about the football.
I enjoy winning under Mourinho. I enjoyed the wins under Conte. I enjoy the wins under Poch, under Redknapp. Right. I can go all the way back. I enjoy winning under every manager.
Of course.
Who play different styles. Because you walk out of a ground, Dan, and if you played well but you've lost, okay, there's that thing. You come away, we played well, or you've seen some entertaining football, but as a fan, you're still pissed off that we've lost.
Lubo, do you know what's funny? I like to watch a lot of other non-Spurs channels to understand how they view their clubs and how they view us. And one thing I've noticed this year, Arsenal have won a lot of games, but the fans have moaned in a lot of those wins because they're not convinced that football's sustainable for the whole season. And they don't feel that with the players they've got, that the football they're playing at times is good enough. And we're worse than that lot when it comes to style of play. I'm just wondering if we were this pragmatic Mourinho type team, but winning, I think most fans would just be moaning the whole season. But if we won the league, they'd all turn up to the parade. They'd all be in the parade, right?
Right.
We saw it already last season. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's true.
The last part again. I'm only stating these things because people in the chat are saying to me, "I'm talking no facts." But when you looked at it, when you watch the games in those last games against the semi-final and the semi-final, quarter-final, and the final, we're playing like we're playing now, right? So you were happy to win that cup playing that way. Right, but now it's another season now, and you don't like this manager, and they're saying this manager could not win, maybe not win anything for us. You're not gonna like it. You see what I'm saying? So you've got to make a
It's
decision.
because we're losing games now, Alex, isn't it? Though we're losing.
So
games.
that's the point I'm making, though. That's the point I'm making. So what do you want? Because I know what I want. I want some good football to watch as well. You know what I mean? You know, there has to be a happy medium for me. You know what I mean? When I'm paying all that money
Alex,
to watch a football match, I want to see some good football. I want to see some good players. You know what I mean?
So does anyone on it? What does everyone on here actually care about more? Yeah. I know some people don't care about Spurs way. Some people do care about Spurs way. Some people don't care about the football, the style of football in this. Well, I heard plenty of people last year, and I mean plenty of people, turn around and say, I would rather lose a game 6-3 to Liverpool than scrimp and scrape a dirty game 1-0 and look terrible on the pitch. Yeah. And I read plenty of people say that. So just out of question for you, what is more important to Tottenham? What is more important to you? Is it winning, or are you so set on Spurs history, Spurs structure, Spurs identity, that Spurs played the Spurs way? Or are you willing to blow all that out the window just so Spurs can bloody win? What is more important to you? One or the other?
Can I go first, right? In an ideal world, I want both. Quality football
don't we all?
Right. But just to answer your question, I have been so consistent on this and I'm not budging.
Mm-hmm.
I am that type of fan that would accept finishing mid-table or low in the league. As long as we don't get relegated, I will take finishing anywhere as long as we win a trophy at the end of the season.
You've always said that since I know you.
Carabao Cup, an FA Cup, a Europa. I'd love to win the Champions League. I'd love to win the Premier League. We're a million miles away from that. But if we finished 12th this year under Frank, but he won the FA Cup, I will fucking take that all day long, every single year. But most fans don't. They want progression and they want a style of play. So yeah, I think I'm in the minority with that one.
Not basically. I'll stick up for you on that one. You have said that ever since I've known you. Yeah, I mean, we've had this debate a fair few times self. But the question is basically one or the other here. Yeah. Do you want to win? Or are you very set on the Spurs history?
I want to win.
Spurs way, the Spurs football. So for you, it's purely about winning. You've got one or the other, basically. Here is the question.
I want both. I want both.
Oh, of course we want both. I mean, we all want both.
But winning is my priority. Always.
But by the end of the night down the pub, you don't usually get both. It's usually one or the other, and then sometimes you have a bloody lucky night. But Ian, what is more important to you? As all I ever hear off of you is how important it is for this Spurs history, this Spurs generations, this Spurs this Spurs that. Right, if all that has to be chucked out the window to catch up with modern day football, for us to scrimp and scrape our way up there one way or another, playing pragmatic football, crap football, this and that, ditching this Spursy way, whatever it is and that, to win, what one do you want more? Do you want this Spurs history culture of playing good football, flair football, this and that, but winning jack shit with it, maybe a cup every 10 years? Or don't you care and you just want to win?
I think I want to win, to be honest.
Fair answer. It's just a question. It is a simple question.
I think if you said to me, we're 11th now, with a mid-table squad, if you said to me, we'll finish 12th and win the FA Cup, which takes you into the Europa League for next season, I'll take that. Because we won another trophy, we're back in Europe, it's the same as finishing 6th, and you get a chance to go and improve the team. And this summer is going to be a massive, massive transfer window.
It is, I agree.
An absolutely enormous window. So if you're coming off,
just like the past 10, yeah.
Well,
I'm being sarcastic. I'm being sarcastic, mate.
No. But they get bigger and bigger, don't they? The longer.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
The longer it goes without having that superb transfer window that really strengthens the team.
But it's what we hear every year, isn't it? It's a massive transfer window.
But you're looking at winning trophies. Let's take the Carabao Cup.
So for you, though, it's winning. Just so I heard you clearly, you don't give a toss about the Spurs culture of play and everything. You just want to win.
I want to win. I do want to win. Correct.
It's just a question for everyone. That's all it is. Nothing more.
I want to win. I think Arsenal fans in the end got fed up with Wenger because Wenger thought 4th place was a trophy. 4th place was not a trophy. Fourth place took us into the Champions League, and every single year they went out in the last 16. So for me, you're going nowhere fast. What I want to do is win trophies. Normally, the top teams win the trophies. The teams at the top of the league win the trophies. You look at the Carabao Cup. You've got City playing Newcastle, and you've got Chelsea probably playing Arsenal or Palace. So you've got, what have you got? 4 of the top 5 teams there? Well, Chelsea, Palace, Arsenal, City are all top 5, aren't they? And then, so you got any 2 from those 3 plus Newcastle, who are the holders. And okay, Newcastle haven't had the best of starts in the league, but they're 4 points off 5th place, I think. So the league is that tight that the chances are that Newcastle will come strong and they'll come through the field in the second half of the season. So for me, you've got to have a strong team to win these cups, to win these trophies. So you've got to keep building year on year. You've got to keep improving. Your league form and your league position has got to keep improving and getting better. So for me, it's Glasner was building something at Palace. They're doing really well. They've lost Eze and they're 5th in the table. He's doing absolute wonders with that team. But you don't normally get a club that finished 12th in the league that win the FA Cup. That's quite rare.
I'm just going to.
When was the last time you had a team that finished 17th?
So Alex, just so I can get an answer off of Alex. What is it for you then, Alex?
Get straight to the point.
Is it about winning?
I think it's about the football for me. Players improving, developing, and then you see where that takes you. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not.
So that's more important than winning.
Yeah, well, at the moment, for me, that's what's important for me at the moment, because at the moment, winning that Europa League, even though it was great in the sense of the history and stuff, I didn't enjoy that season, regardless whatever I thought about it. I didn't enjoy that season whatsoever. If we had that season with Mourinho, and Mourinho had that final, which I think he would have won against Man City, not got sacked before, I don't think I would have enjoyed that season either still. You know what I mean? So for me, I think it's about the football. I think I've changed my mind as time goes on, as if I saw football, but since Pochettino, I've not enjoyed it. I've not enjoyed it at all. I'm actually going away, going more away from watching Tottenham than actually watching Tottenham. I'm actually just forcing myself to watch Tottenham rather than actually wanting to watch Tottenham, and that's not good. That's not good. You know what I mean?
Do you enjoy being called Spursy because your team plays good football and bottles winning trophies?
Honestly, Stel, I couldn't give monkeys anymore now. Honestly, the thing is though, it's not me that's Spursy. It's the team that's Spursy. Yeah. At the end of the day, they create the history. I don't. All I can do is give an opinion. I give my honest truth. Yeah. And that's my honest truth at the moment. Whether people agree with me or not, I don't really give a monkeys anymore. Because as far as I'm concerned, I can only go what I feel. And that's organic as far as I'm concerned. This whole thing about saying, oh, I want to win. Yeah, great, I want to win. But if I don't enjoy that win, what is the point? You know what I mean? What is the point? You know? Last season was the most worst season.
It means you're the best team in that competition. That's what it means, Alex. It means you were the best team in the competition.
Though. We weren't. We won because we got.
Who was better? Who was better? Hold on. One minute. Who was better than Tottenham in the Europa Cup last season?
We ended up winning. Yeah, we did win. We ended up winning the competition.
No. If we weren't the best team, my question is, who was better than us last season in the competition?
I didn't watch the whole competition. Who else was there? But for me,
how do you know we weren't the best?
I didn't feel towards the end we won it, and I was happy. But it didn't feel after the whole season. Looking back at that season, it didn't feel like it, bro. It just didn't feel like it. You know, from what I saw last season, it didn't feel like, oh yeah. You know, after that game, we got.
No, Alex, do you know what? I hear you because I think most fans agree with you. Like when I go to the Spurs Stadium, do you know how many fans tell me that they just want to see good football? Like I actually think we are the most divided fan base in the Premier League when it comes to what do you want? Do you want winning? Do you want both? Do you want trophies? Do you want good football? Do you care what the good football likes? I honestly think I've been saying this for about 3 years. We don't agree.
Don't care what people are saying about the chat with me. I'm just saying what I'm feeling.
Forget the chat. I'm just chatting. We're speaking.
Professional truth and entertainment. I don't care anymore because, as far as I'm concerned, when I go on what I feel. Yeah, whether you like it or not, I go what I feel. That's what football's about. What you see and what you feel. Yeah, that's why I don't give a monkeys about XG and was it expected goals rubbish. You know what I mean? Yeah, that people play too much FIFA on. You know what I mean? It's when you see what you're seeing, right? And like I said, after last season, right? If we didn't win that Europa League, what will you be feeling right now? You'll be feeling like, why am I bothering watching this anymore? You know what I mean? Why would I be bothering watching Tottenham anymore? Why would I use the energy anymore? I'm fed up. Yeah, I'm fed up because I was going to games and I was getting dross every single week.
Alex,
you know what I mean?
Alex, listen, I respect the fact that you want to go and see entertaining football. Fully understand that.
Fair enough. I know
no,
might not agree.
Absolutely.
By the way, Lubo, Sean agrees with Alex. We had this chat on the show. Sean agrees with Alex on this one, by the way.
Right. Fully agree. Listen, fully agree with you, Alex. You pay your money. You want to go and be entertained. Understand?
Not the way that Ange does it. Just to make that clear, that was
no. Understand. You want to see the sort of football that Harry Redknapp brought to Spurs and Pochettino brought to Spurs.
Don't we all?
Yes.
That's the ideal.
Martin Yole. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That's the Spurs. That for me. When I see players developing and they develop from this end to that end, that for me is fascinating for me.
You enjoyed the football. You enjoyed the football.
And seeing Gareth Bale the way he was, seeing Modric, seeing Robbie Keane, seeing Defoe.
Absolutely. Alex, I couldn't agree with you more.
David Ginola. You know what I mean?
Alex, there's one big but.
Yeah, I know.
We don't have the players to play that way.
I know. That's why I'm disengaged with some of these players.
Football doesn't play that way anymore in general either.
But we, at the moment, Dan, we don't even have the players to compete in a physical, high-pressing, athletic style of football.
No, we don't. That side, I totally agree with you. But the side that I think people are asking that they want to see, this is where I think some people, again, need to forget about the past a little bit if we're going to look into the future. Time has changed. People have evolved. Football has evolved. If anything, football's gone back, in my opinion, to more like a bit what it was in the 90s. You know, all this flair and everything. Yeah, you see it in the odd club here and there, but in general, as a whole in football, especially in the Premier League anyway, it's definitely not exactly the most flairful game to watch anymore in the Premiership, depending what you call flair. I mean, how many players do you see anymore like a David Ginola, like a Gaza? How many players do you see like a Berbatov? How many players do you see like a Ryan Giggs anymore? How many teams actually leave it to their players to bomb up the wings and do it? That is just where football has changed.
I saw something came through on Twitter this afternoon. Someone was showing there was a picture of Georgie Kinkladze who was Man City in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Georgian player. What a player. Silky skills. You don't get those sort of players at the moment.
Well, you got Morgan Rogers. You got Morgan Rogers. I can tell you that for a fact because Morgan Rogers is one of the players.
He's a strong, powerful runner. He's physical as well. He's not a Kinkladze type player.
No.
So yes, definitely the game has changed. It's evolved, particularly in the last 12, 18 months. You know, where you've got to be big, strong, physical, but it is all about players. It always has been about players.
Well, of course it is, because they're the ones playing the football.
And, whichever style, whichever type of football you need to play to win games, you've got to have players of a good ability to do that. And at
of
the
that
moment,
capability. Yeah.
We don't have it. We just don't have it. And I think we just got to look at it and think it's going to take several transfer windows. You know, if you brought in 4 good players each window for the next 4 windows, you've got 16 new players to add to add to the quality that you've got, you end up with a decent squad at 25.
So
but
what
that's
if we
where we are now. We're about 15
Okay.
players.
Cool. You don't have to tell me that. I know that.
We are so
So
short.
what have we got to do then, Ian? Yeah, what have we got to do? Have we got to? I mean, obviously, we want an identity. Every club wants its identity, its main style of play, or whatever. But what have we really got to build on here then? Yeah, have we got to build on building this Spurs identity again, bringing us back to Spurs days, bringing us back to who we were, the way we play football, exciting, this and that, or have we just got to adapt to the modern day football and get footballers in who can play modern day football? Because then you're going to have to forget about this Spurs way. If it even existed, you're going to have to forget about this flair play and this Ginola and everything else. And you're just going to have to sit and accept modern day football isn't what you're going to want it to be. So basically, Spurs have to adapt to modern day football and carry on adapting as the football goes on. But then there's a lot of people out there with, like what Stel said, who will still moan and complain, even if we start doing well up there, that we're not playing this bloody Spurs way.
Well, you could start with looking to play the way that Redknapp played, or the way, bringing it even closer to home, closer to today, the way Pochettino played. But we've got to have the players to play that high press, to play skillful football. You know, to have clinical finishers like Kane and Son. That's what you need. That's what, you know. Forget the other century where you had your Klinsmans and your Ginolas and your Greaves and your Chivers and Clive Allens and Waddles and Linekers and all of those.
So what's the plan, Ian? What's the plan? Is the plan to become Spurs again of what we were and play this elite illustrious football?
There is no plan.
Well,
there is no
it doesn't look like it. But what do you want the plan to be then? Do you want the plan to Spurs to be? Hang on. Do you want the plan to be for Spurs to become Spurs again, or do you want the plan for Spurs to become a football club that can bloody win things on a regular basis?
That's what Spurs used to be.
On this one.
That's what Spurs used to be.
We used to win things on a regular basis.
Yeah, but it's not going to be not the way you want it to play anymore. It's not going to happen the way you want it to play, or very unlikely unless we go and get a bloody Barcelona team out there.
Let's put style to one side. Let's make sure that, first of all, people at the top have a winning mentality. There is a culture. Yes. There is a tenacity and a determination to make Tottenham the best it can be. At the end of the day, you're not in control of other clubs. You are in control of what you do within your own club. And for me, it's about being the best you can be. If that's good enough, great. If you fall short, you can look yourself in the mirror. And that's the same for all of us. You know, whatever your level is, your level is. If you give 100%, you know you've done your very best wherever the chips fall. And for me, that's where I want to see Spurs start. In terms of being the best, we're a football club. I've always said that. Not interested in being the richest club with the highest profits in the Premier League or in Europe. I'm a football fan. I want our club to be the best club. I want to see trophies. I've seen enough in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. I want to see more now. Because we had 13 in 38. That was 1 in every 3. We're now 1 in every 12 and a half years. So we've gone from 3 to 12 and a half under Enoch. So I want to see a better balance there. And so you start off with a winning mentality. You get top people in, and those people bring top people into the club. And that's why, again, when you're talking about bringing in big players, not sure how you're going to do it. It's probably got to be opportunist. It's got to be someone knows somebody well. But we've got to make a statement signing that where we buy a player who other clubs, all the other big clubs would have, or some of the other big clubs were in competition with, wanted, and then the other players who are out there are going to say, blimey, Spurs have signed him, Spurs mean business. So for me, that's where I want us to start getting to.
That's going to take a long time though, isn't it?
Listen, it could take several years, Dan. You know, you're not going to, for me, we've had 25 years where football has not been the priority. Now, we've suffered for that, and that's going to take time to put right. And that's where the culture and the mentality comes in, and rebuilding and bringing in people at the top that want success. And for me, it starts there and it filters down. And whoever the manager is, Frank, Pochettino, Glasner, Iraola, whoever it is, it's going to take several transfer windows to get this squad up to scratch where we are actually being competitive with the other top clubs.
So basically, we need to start going for players that improve that first 11 every time we buy a player. Yeah,
pretty much.
Well, we have to,
yeah,
because
of course we do. So basically, we got to blow out the window, stop buying all these poxy kids, stop buying all these bang average players, and every time we buy a player, make sure he's good enough to straight away get into that.
Well, he's got to improve on what we've got.
That's what I just said, Alex. That's what I just said.
Yeah,
that's what I said.
I know,
He's got to be good enough to walk into that first 11, basically.
Yeah.
Instead of buying a club player, instead of buying a bloody little kid that hasn't even played in top league football, instead of playing like taking a hit and hope and everything and buying on potential, we buy established players now who improve that 11 every time we buy that player.
I was just trying to add onto your point, because I don't want to be horrible, but I don't want to see the excuses for players like the Dutch Pretty Ricky, aka Javi Simmons. You know what I mean? So and Moani again, and it's funny that people are now making the same point I've been making, even though I'm deluded. I'm told that this guy's it's been living off his past performances in other clubs, because as far as I'm concerned, being on loan, he should have hit the ground running. He's been a damn squid, and I keep on saying it. You know what I mean? It's funny that, you know what I mean? So, I think the worry for me is, and it is a big worry because it's happened before, because we had this with Højbjerg. Sorry, but did you say that at the beginning, Stelios?
This is in the WhatsApp group. Sean likes to bring this up every show, right? This is what I said about Moani in front of goal about 2-3 months ago. He's yet to score a goal in the Premier League. Still hasn't scored.
Yeah, well, that's why I need people making excuses that he was injured.
I think he's a good player,
but
he's just not
if he was injured, don't get him in. Don't get him in. You know what I mean? And I'm sorry. I'm still saying the same thing about the Dutch Pretty Ricky. What is it? Javi Simmons. He's no better than Kulusevski at the moment for me, and he's definitely not any better than bloody Maddison. So I'm sticking to it at the moment. He can change my mind because he's going to be here for many seasons to come. So you know what I mean, and that's it for me. So
Alex, I want to let's segue on from what you just said there to the last topic of the night. By the way, quick super chat from Mark Taylor. Thank you very much, Mark. Spurs used to be a glamour club with glamour signings, not anymore. Just cry. I think most of us will agree with you there, Mark. Last topic we want to quickly cover is Tottenham v Liverpool. It's the 5:30 game live on Sky Sports just before Christmas, just what we need. Look, guys, Liverpool, they haven't had a good season. They've lost to many teams, even at Anfield. They've lost to the likes of Sunderland. They've lost to the likes, they just about drew with Leeds. They've lost to Brentford. They got battered by Brentford, actually. They've lost to some good teams as well, like Man City. Man United beat them up at Anfield, which hasn't happened in a long, long time. They've not been a good Liverpool team this year, but we know they've got the capability. Spurs at home have been pretty much awful, other than 2 games in the league this season. Liverpool haven't been the best team on the road either. So this has got the makings of an absolute shit show, or someone's going to get a dropping. I don't know which way it's going to go. We are going to make our predictions, but Lubo, Tottenham Liverpool, tell me what you think about the game, and also tell me what you think Frank should maybe do, and give us a prediction as well.
What do I think? I think that Frank will go back to a pragmatic game on Saturday. I think he'll go back to Pelini and Bentancur as a double pivot. I think it's probably got draw written all over it. To be fair, Liverpool have had 2 very good results. They superb results when they beat Inter Milan 1-0. They beat Brighton as well. Salah's not there. One or two are missing. I just feel that Spurs have got to come out after Sunday and show something. They've got to show some cojones on Saturday. and I think we'll get a draw. I think that's where it'll be. I think it'll be a tight game. I'm probably going to go for probably a 1-1.
You're going for Spurs v Liverpool 1-1.
1-1 for me.
All right, Dan, what are you thinking about this one?
I mean, in some aspects, it's the ideal time you want to play them because they really are up and down. The thing I'm worried about is that with that team that Liverpool has got and the capability he has blatantly got on there, they're going to click sooner or later. The question is when. I mean, knowing our luck, it'll probably be with us because they usually do give us a good kicking every time they bloody play us. And I think we're definitely. I think this one can actually go either way anyway. I can see Liverpool turning up and all of a sudden clicking and giving us the kicking of our life quite easily. I can also see us turning around and giving them a bit of a beating as well because they are just. They just ain't great at the moment. And then I can also see this being a dirty draw as well. I do know one thing though. If this manager, unless there's some sort of injuries or any sort like that, and again, people take it as personal as you want or unpersonal as you want. If he goes and sticks Archie Gray in that midfield with either Paulinia, Bentancur or whoever else, then I'm pretty much on the last leg of Frank out. If he goes and does that, then to me, he hasn't got a bloody clue what he's doing. We're going to have to be very strong in that midfield. And the two strongest we've got in that midfield, where we have looked most stable in that midfield, conceded the least goals in that midfield, is Bentancur and Paulinia. Okay, at home people would say, oh, we don't want to play pragmatic. We're playing Liverpool, for God's sake. They might be playing shit at the moment, but they're still 3 times the team that we are. And they can still easily give us the beating of our life. So I think he's got to be very sensible with this one. And I think it's a game that can go any which way. But I'm going to go for the hope of God. I'm going to go for a 2-2. But like I said, if he goes and puts Archie Gray on that pitch and there is no other then there is, if there's injuries, fine, you got to do your stuff. But if he goes and puts him on there over Paulinia or Bentancur, I'm definitely going to be literally one step away from Frank out.
Lubo, don't bite. Don't bite.
No, this isn't for Lobo. This isn't for Lobo. This is my opinion. It's nothing to do with him. Because if he goes and does that, then I've got serious questions for this manager's mental capability.
No, I'm happy with him playing Gray in most games, but not against the top 6 at this stage. He's not quite there yet. So for me, and I would personally, what would I do? It's difficult because I Bergvall for physicality in midfield, possibly. With Simmons, drop Richie, play Kudus, maybe play a 4-5-1 and play Moani up front. Suffocate the midfield and go from there.
All right, you've gone 1-1. Dan's gone 2-2. Alex, how do you feel? Are you going to the game, by the way, Alex?
I'll keep that secret.
That means yes.
Why do you need to keep it a secret? I mean,
no, I just like to be that guy.
He doesn't want to tell his missus he's there.
I wish.
Fair play.
Listen. I'm torn between 2-1 or 2-2, with 2-1 to Liverpool or 2-2 at the moment, because I know Liverpool are bad at set pieces, and we can do something as a set piece as well, to be honest with you. But you know, I'm just torn between the 2-2 or 2-1 to Liverpool.
So which one is it, Alex?
I can't say. I just don't know at the moment, because I don't know about Liverpool either. Probably 2-2 at the moment. 2-2 at the moment.
So you're all going for draws?
Yeah, I just don't know. There's not really much I can say in regards to Liverpool as form because I don't know what they're like. Well, I've seen them. They've been in, they've recently picked up a little bit, but I still think they're very vulnerable in certain ways in set pieces and stuff. So I think that's where Frank might try and attack that, maybe possibly, because to be fair to the defenders, they are our top. They are one of our top goal scorers, aren't they? I think Van der Ven's one of them, isn't it? So, I mean, we'll see what happens. I don't know what Tottenham's going to turn up though. I don't know what's going to turn up now these days now. So it's a lottery now, isn't it? Really.
I was hoping this game we could go Pape Sarr, Paulinho in the middle because we're going to need
Sarr's
strength.
not there, is he? Sarr's not there, is he?
He's AFCON, so I actually don't know what I would do because I think we need strength in that midfield because they're big, then they're physical, and we saw it against Nottingham Forest. We just got bullied. I think Salah being AFCON is actually a blessing for Liverpool. I think they've got more than enough without him. I think he actually holds them back a bit at the moment.
I think he's done. He's done there. He's done and dusted.
Well, he played the last game. I mean, I don't think we're going to get battered. A lot of people think we're going to get battered. They're just going to dick on us. I don't think that's going to happen. I actually think we're going to do all right. I think we're going to do okay, but Liverpool will win it by a goal. I do think it'll be 2-1 Liverpool on the day. They'll nick it. I just don't think we've got it in us. Then again, Liverpool are there for the taking. It's just I don't believe we're going to go for it. I don't think we're going to go for it like that. I think we are going to be a bit more pragmatic, and it will cost us in the end. But we'll be in the game. We're not going to get. I'll tell you this: just how Dan said, if he starts Archie Gray, he's closer to Frank out. If we get battered by a team that hasn't battered anyone this season, I'm done, man. I'm like. I can handle a loss. I can handle a loss, but I can't handle what Nottingham Forest did to us again at home. I can't go through that again.
I think
it beggars belief, man.
The problem is that you're right. The home form has got to improve massively for him at the end of the day, and I think.
Alex, losing to Liverpool is not an embarrassment. Okay, they are a better team.
You can't get but still you can't get thrashed. You can't get thrashed.
That's what he just said. That's what he's saying.
Yeah. No. I'm saying. I heard what he said, Dan. I'm agreeing with him. You know what I mean? I'm agreeing with Stelios. I'm saying, but he can't get thrashed, can he? You know what I mean, for me, because it don't look good, and I mean,
because Liverpool. Let me just check. I don't think they've battered anyone this season. I could be wrong. Let me just check. Let's have a look. In the league, I don't think they have. We'll find out.
I mean, the difficulty is. Difficulty is, guys.
Every game they've won, guys, has been by one goal in the league.
Apart from, did they buy? What was Bournemouth first game? I think that was 4-2.
Their best result this season was 2-0 against Villa. That was their best result in terms of, and 2-0 against West Ham. They haven't beaten anyone by more than 2 goals. Nobody.
Still, I can agree with you on this one. Yeah,
Bournemouth was 4-2, so they won by 2 goals. So. On average, they win by 1 goal or 2 goals if they win. So if we lost 2-1 or even 3-1, you just accept that they're the better team on the day. Not that we can accept a loss, but you accept that they're a better team. But if it's like a 4-5-0, mate, honestly,
I want to see this team go out there and put some bloody effort in, get stuck in again. That game against Newcastle our football was absolutely woeful, shocking. Bad. Not that Newcastle were even good, but we got stuck into the game. We scraped our way through it. We did what we had to do. The players wanted to play. If we go into this game and then go and pull off another Chelsea, another Arsenal, another Fulham, whatever, yeah, I can see where you're coming from on that aspect. We've got to at least get stuck into this game and want to look like we're there to win. And the last question with it that I have with Frank is he even going to try and win, or is he just going to go not to lose? Last bit I wanted to say.
I was going to say, if we do another Chelsea, Arsenal, Fulham type thing, if that happens again, I think it will go very, very toxic on Saturday. Really toxic. If that happens on Saturday, off the back of that Nottingham Forest result. But I don't think we will. I actually think we're going to give it a game. I think we're going to be in it, but just we're going to fall short when it comes down to it.
I just hope. I don't want. What I don't want is us losing bad.
It might even be 1-0 Liverpool. You know, it could just be a 1-0. Like a
hopefully, it's not going to be as bad as what people think.
Game, but just
one thing I'm going to stick by what I say on this. I don't want Frank to get sacked and we get an interim in. I really do not want that to happen because that's me done. That's me done. Right? I've heard some ridiculous things during the beginning of this week. Oh, we want Robbie Keane. I mean, what are we doing here? Seriously, what are we doing here? Because he's doing with first fouls. I mean, come on. I mean, honestly, I do not want an interim because I've done that I've seen that so many times. Then we're saying, "Oh, we'll wait for the next season and all that," and I'm like, "Oh."
Well, look, let's wait.
40 years old, for goodness sake. I ain't got time.
Let's wait and see, Alex, with what happens with that, because I think if Frank doesn't get something out of the next 2 games, that conversation might actually be more serious. But let's see where we're at. I just want to say a quick thank you to All User, who says, sorry to say we bring out the best in other teams. Well, that is what Dr. Tottenham is, I guess. Alex, when are you next on? Where can everyone find you on YouTube?
Just keep tuned in to Mr. Box Office TV. Just keep tuned in. Best, worst, and bang average top 5 is coming soon. Like I said every single time. You know what I mean? Because like I say, I'm zoned out most of this season anyway, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? I'm letting Lubo talk about his little beloved Archie Gray that's no better than bloody what is it? What is his name? That youngster. You know that youngster that used to play for thing, isn't it? I forgot his name now.
There's a lot of youngsters out there.
Oh, anyway, forget it. It's lost its power there. Anyway, back to you still.
Darren Kasky.
Bentaleb, that was it. Bentaleb, sorry. I had my dinner yet. Sorry.
Bentaleb was a top player.
Well, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. And he was young, and we sold him. So that should be the same case with Archie Gray. Hopefully, Mattis Tell might be doing the same thing, though. We should be putting him on loan soon to get him some more game time because he's useless. Anyway, moving on. Back to you.
There you go. If you like what you hear from Mr. Box Office, check him out on his YouTube channel. Lubo, we know you're on the Spurs Five, but you love to do the rounds. Where are you booked in for the next 7 days? Where are you?
Tomorrow night on Last Word on Spurs, and then back on here on Monday.
Have you got anything on the weekend?
I've got Savage show in the morning. Football Heritage TV.
So Football Heritage TV, Last Word on Spurs, and then no doubt it'll be somewhere on Saturday or Sunday as well.
No, Saturday clear. Saturdays at Spurs. Monday back here. That's at the moment. That's what's arranged.
Well, Dan, Hotspur Hood, you got anything planned or just when you feel like it?
Yeah, basically, I just go with the flow. Basically, next day or two, I'm Sean there. I mean, when I'm out with Bent Day and said to do a show with him in the next couple of days as well. So either tomorrow or Friday and that, do a show and then take it from there. You know me, I just go with the flow, basically.
Jimmy says, great, I'll avoid the Last Word on Spurs then. Nice, Jimmy. That's the Christmas spirit.
I avoid it every single week. Sorry.
Oh my God. Good bit of banter. I will be back on Monday with Lubo, of course. Hopefully Sean turns up from his sabbatical. Maybe Johnny will make an appearance this year.
They'll be back.
We'll find out.
They're both back Monday.
They're both back on Monday. There you go. And you can also find me on the Spurs Corner on Wednesday at 8 p.m. too. So I'll be on those 2 shows. Guys, thank you tonight. We had a good 600-700 of you live throughout. Fantastic. Smash like, subscribe. We'll be back on Monday. Check out Alex, check out Lubo, check out Dan on their channels or wherever they're booked in. We'll be back on Monday to either be celebrating a magnificent win against Liverpool or we will be tearing each other's heads off at another loss and blaming each other for the defeat. And there'll probably be some blood stains somewhere. All right, take care. Have a good weekend. Peace up the Spurs.
Take care, guys.
Try and get a win.
Go on, you Spurs.